So, Druze separatists lead a so-called protest of self-determination in al-Suwaida city, southern Syria. The separatists could be seen waving flags with Israeli mercenary leader Hikmat al-Hajari, and then that same person, Hajari, a spiritual leader of Syria's Druze community, said, "We call on all honorable people worldwide to support our demand to declare southern Syria a separate province for our protection. We seek peace, but we also have the right to defend ourselves." Druze leader in Syria, it's the same person, also said, quote, "The Druze sect in Syria demands independence in the south. We insist we want independence. This matter is settled." And so that obviously creates a huge issue for the current Syrian government, because you cannot have this faction. They were trying to effectively obtain control over all of the separatist factions in Syria and bring them under the purview of the Syrian government, bring them under their wing, and hopefully stabilize the region and keep out Israeli influence. But as of right now, as I just read, the leaders of the Druze are calling for their own movement of independence, declaring sovereignty in effect and creating their own state, or that's what they would like to do, separate from the rest of Syria. And as I'll read here in a minute, there was not everyone was in agreement with that, or at least reportedly that was the case. And then in terms of some of the Israeli influence in the region, according to Israel Hayom, which is an Israeli outlet, quote, "Israel and Syria may sign a limited security agreement on September 25th with the United States involvement, according to Arab media." Israeli Channel 12 said, quote, "The Trump administration is pushing for the implementation of a new security agreement between Israel and Lebanon and between Israel and Syria as a first step towards normalizing relations in the future." Foreign Minister Assad al-Shabani met recently in Paris with an Israeli delegation. According to the report, the talks were mediated by the United States and focused on stability in southern Syria, including discussion on renewing the 1974 disengagement agreement between Israel and Syria, which al-Julani had actually stated that he agreed with, that he also wanted to renew the same 1974 agreement. And while I didn't dig a whole lot into exactly what that would mean this episode, perhaps next week I can touch up on that a little bit. Senior Israeli officials were quoted as saying, "The Syrians expressed their concern to the Americans that the Druze minority might establish a form of autonomy in Syria under Israeli patronage, and the American representative told them that, quote, this is not Israel's intention." So Israel is saying that they do not intend on propping up the autonomy of the Druze in Syria, but as we have seen thus far, that's not the case at all. In fact, they're willing to airstrike certain tribes that are creating conflict amongst the Druze in Syria. They're willing to fly into Syria's airspace and conduct airstrikes on people that are fighting with the Druze. So although Israel is saying it's not their intention to give them autonomy, they're aiding them 100% thus far in their fight, and also likely supplying weapons, although we haven't heard on that thus far. A senior Kurdish official, multiple senior Kurdish officials in Syria also voiced concerns to Israel over a developing security agreement with the Damascus government, warning it could embolden the regime toward further violence.